Alright, let's get started. I'm going to show you guys how I hooked up an amp from my stock 2014 JKU Jeep Wrangler. Pause this screen if you want to see all the tools and supplies you'll need. First thing you want to do is disconnect the battery. You're going to open up the dash. Almost all the screws should be a 7mm socket. Pop the window control unit out. There's a little lock on here. And another hidden screw. Carefully take the dash off, and then you're going to loosen the bolts around the head unit there. Then you are going to pull the cables through that are going to go down to the amp. There's your two RCA cables and your remote cable. I used a wire to attach it to, and then I just kind of threaded it under here to where I'm going to be putting the amp under the seat, and I leave plenty of extra cable. Pause this to read. Hooking up RCA cables is a little complicated. Depending on what cables you buy, what color they are, I would read the manufacturer's details on your cabling to know which is your positive, which is your negative. But once you get a hold of that, you're going to strip back the wires. And then you are going to unplug the back of the head unit. Pause this as well to read, to understand which cable goes to which. You're going to be using the rear speaker cables. You don't want to touch the front ones. If you are installing a high-powered system, seek a professional help. You will need other steps involved and other equipment that this patch through will not work for. This is for a basic low-powered soundbar system. The cables that you cut, you're going to want to put butt connectors on just to seal them off so that nothing touches them, doesn't create any electrical shorts. Once you connect your RCA cables to the harness for the head unit, make sure you tape them off so everything's secure. And then you're going to plug the head unit back into the back of your radio. Up next, we are going to route the cable for the remote signal for the amp. I used the cigarette lighter that has keyed power. I spliced the remote signal into that, and then it runs behind the dash over to the amp, and it goes into the remote signal on the amp. It's what will give it the signal to turn on and turn off with the key. You're going to put your dash back together. Next, we're running the power cable for the amp. I sort of laid it out to pre-measure how long it needed to go. I patched it through the front dash. I measured where I needed to cut my cable. My cable did not come with a fuse, so I had to put that together myself. It wasn't that difficult. You just had to strip the wire and kind of screw it in, and you put the fuse in line. We are going to remove the seat belt sensor from under the seat. It just kind of will snap out, and disconnect the seat belt sensor. I bought a shelf that I wanted to attach underneath my seat for my amp to sit on, so I had to remove the seat and attach the shelf. If you do not have a shelf, you do not need to remove the seat. You're going to want to hook up the ground cable underneath the driver's seat. There is a bolt there that you can ground to. And you're going to hook your RCA cables in, your remote cable, your power, and your ground into your amp. And then you're going to put your seat back together. Again, you want an impact wrench or a crowbar. Those screws are tight. And don't forget to hook the seatbelt sensor back into the seat. And then you're going to clean up your cables and reattach your battery. And that's how you hook up an amp.